Hi, this is Paranormal Encounters, and I'm your host, Brenda McGee. Today I have a very special guest. Her name is Sue Angelo. Sue, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Brenda. This is so much fun.
So, Sue, what I would love for you to do is tell us all about yourself.
Well, I come from Boston, Massachusetts, and I was in the X-ray field for 30 years, and it gave me the basis of how I came into this business. One of the radiologists, she taught me about Reiki and EFT, and then I said, I'm going to look into this and get more engaged. And then I went to an energy medicine school, Reese Thomas Energy Medicine School, and learned, some different ways. I learned about energy medicine, chakras, and different things like that. And then I got into the shamanism. And then Lisa Campion, as my teacher was like, Sue, don't you think you're a shaman? And I was like, oh, yeah, everybody's asking me, what am I,
Right.
And I said, well, I really work with the earth. That calls to me. Nature calls to me.
Right.
So shamanism called to me. It wasn't something I dreamed about growing up being, but it's something that came to me.
So now, being a shaman, what are the things that you love to do with that energy, and what are some of the things, or you know what, let me ask you this much. Something happens in our lives where all of a sudden we're either connected with something, and then we're like, well, wait a minute, there's something about this that, feels right. How did that happen with you?
Well, I ended up getting divorced. And when I got divorced, what I said is I didn't want to do that relationship the same way again. I was married for 18 years. And so how do I do a relationship differently? And what does it look like? Which then led me to my healing.
Right.
To heal myself. So that's how it started out, was how do I heal myself? And to be in relationship with others. But it ended up being, what's the best relationship with myself?
Right.
And then I was like, oh, okay. Then I realized I was really so connected to the earth and really connected to nature and bringing people to their hearts, and with drums and sound, and it just, I feel like I fell into it, but not really.
Right.
I chose to heal myself, and I've been in years of therapy, but I used, shamanism has like rituals that you can use so I would receive a ritual to do from a teacher, and then I would do it, and when it would help me move from my stuck place in myself and going,
right,
forward by doing a ritual.
And now, is that what brought you to writing the book?
Yeah, it did.
So tell us a little bit what people can find in your book.
The book is about, first of all, saying I believed in spirit. And however, or whatever word you want to use for it. And that I believed in guides and the animals and animal totems, and that I had family members that were guides with me. And I was leaving the hospital, a job that I had for 30 years. And the teacher that I was working with, she gave me a 3-month ritual to do about leaving the hospital, so that I wasn't leaving, that I was leaving on good terms. I'd been there for 30 years, so leaving with a grateful heart to then step into more gratitude as I was moving on.
Right.
So, stepping forward with your best foot,
Right.
And so I did this ritual, and I did all this work, and I had a lot of angst about the hospital and different things that had happened. And it was able to help me move forward. I got through the 3 months of it, and I was like, so many different things kept happening to me, different magical things, and our synchronicities, however you want to call it. But I was just, it was so much, like, it moved me, and I was like, so then I could leave the hospital and say, yeah, this is the right thing for me to do.
Right.
And this is the right place. And I put, I live in the real world here, Right. So I checked in and said, okay, if I get these 5 things together, then I'm going to move forward. And they came together, and I saw the 13 the 13 grandmothers, which is they had a special day, and I did 4 days with them, and I came back, and I told my boss I was giving my notice. She goes, I'm not surprised. Are you moving to Arizona? I said, no, but I'm going to do my business full time. And so shamanically and that's what I step forward and into,
So what are some of the things that you help people? I know you work with the land.
I work with the land. If you have land or your house and you want to be more in alignment with your house or reconnect to your land and house, you would call me and ask me to help you work with that. And I also do private sessions, because I've been in the medical field too, I have a tendency to work. People come to me and ask medical questions. Right. And just because I can help them with the medical system, how do you work it, right. And then also offer, comparative or complementary, sessions with them about whatever medical issue that they have going on. And then I also that's one of the pieces. And also if people are stuck, or everybody's being awakened now. Everybody right. has, and people are like, what do we do with this energy? I'm seeing things, or I'm feeling all this energy, and what's the negativity, or where can I find the positive? How can I get more grounded with this real intense energy? A lot of people are coming to me for that too, saying, what do I do?
Right, because they're all being heightened. They think they're going crazy.
Exactly. And it's like, exactly. And who do you ask?
Right.
Who do you talk to? So I have classes. I have a beginner's class, and it's a shamanic session class, and it's 8 weeks. And it's really basically about bringing a group together where everybody's sort of having similar, experiences.
Right.
And they have a place to talk about it.
It's like a support
and then they don't
group,
think
but they're learning also.
Yeah, and then I teach them a little bit about shamanic, introduce them. I do Native American, I do Peruvian, and I do the Dagara tradition, which is West African tradition. So I've studied 3 different shamanisms, and I give them a little insight about different things and connect them. Oh, hey, do you know that everything's connected? This table, this chair, we are, everything that's in the room, we're all connected.
Right.
And how do you use that energy? And how do you bring it forth? And how do you notice? Stop, notice, connect the dots. And that's what the book is about. It's about talking about connecting to the dots.
I like that.
If I ground for a minute, I might realize something else is going on and paying attention. And it brings us to each step, forward.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love the way you say that.
Well, it's just, it's like my passion, and people come and talk to me, and people are struggling right now. I mean, people feel hopeless, and even people that have been doing this kind of work for a long time, people are nervous about the state of affairs.
Right. And
I believe there's a hopeful time. I believe this is a time for change. And if we know ourselves really well and are grounded into ourselves, and then we can bring the new change about.
That's, I was just talking about that, and I was saying that mainly everything that we do, it gets really lonely, because it's like we're helping so many people that, I was just talking the other day, and I was like, you know what, dear Santa, I want my tribe.
Right.
Could you please, God, please bring me the tribe that I'm supposed to be with, because we get to the point where we want true people to come into our lives that want to elevate each other and learn from each other, and not this competition that some people feel they need to go into.
What I tell people about the competition, like someone said, I can't promote you because of this and this and this. What I look at it is, if you go down the street, there's about 5, I know I live in Arlington, on Mass Ave, okay?
Yeah.
There is 5 different pizza places on that street.
Right.
Within 4 or 5 blocks. So there's enough for all of us.
Right.
And we should be reaching out. And can I hold your hand? Can I help you? Let's go. Come on.
And that's one of the reasons why I do this show, is so I can say, hey, look, we got wonderful people here. Reach out to them. So if they did want to reach out to you, what would be the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, I have an email at sue@sueangelo.com. That's an email. Plus, my website is www.sueangelo.com.
Because that has everything.
That has everything. My
offer.
website has so many definitions and so many, really breaks down the different things that I do.
Right.
Because I do the private sessions, I do house clearings. I also do, if you want a custom ritual, like if you have a special birthday or a special, event in your life, and it can be either way, either celebration or if someone's passed, I create a ritual for you. I create a custom so that you can be witnessed by your family or by your friends.
Yeah.
And there again, it's all about the community. A friend of mine, for a couple of years, 1 year, like 3 of my friends turned 50 at the same time. So I created a special ritual for them. And one person received a shawl, and then everybody made little items like ribbons and things to put on the shawl, and then they spoke to her about all the beautiful appreciations that they gave her. All these beautiful appreciations.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. And it's about going back to the tribe, about going back to the community.
Right.
And I'm a facilitator of community. About communication is speaking communication in community. So holding the communication with your community, and people can witness you, because everybody feels so alone.
And that's one of the things that you offer too, is working with the heart.
Yeah.
So important.
A lot of people, because when we get worried and anxiety, we're in our heads, and also we're on the phone, and we're on the computer, and it has brought us so far away from our hearts, but it's also brought us far away from each other, sitting across from each other. It's brought us away from being out in nature, being out in the world. When I get really stuck in the fear, I go outside in the park, and I sit there on a bench, and I make offerings. I make offerings of milk and honey and cornmeal to the earth for gratitude. And dogs will come by, and that's the real world. The trees are there, the people are going by saying hi, and the dogs come by, say hi, and then get out of the fear, out of the loneliness, out of the anxiety.
Now, do you also work with spirit?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because I know, they just said that you work with spirit.
Yes, I do. I do.
So that must be something important, because they made me break.
Yes, I do. That's one of the first things I say in my book, is that I work with spirit, and is I get signs all the time, and sorry, they're talking to me, so
I know.
I'm listening to see what they want me to say. So I talk to, spirit talk. I get messages, and it's usually when I'm working with people, or even just specifically with someone that I'm sitting with. And my brother has passed, and he is my main person that I work with. He is the gatekeeper, and so he comes to me, symbols of Gumby.
Oh, I love that.
And so, would he ever see a Gumby? So one year, one of the first New Year's things I was doing, and the person came in and she put a Gumby on the table for the altar. And I said, how come you have a Gumby? And she goes, oh, my husband's double jointed. And I was like, oh, so we call him Gumby. And I didn't know this, and I had known them pretty well, and I didn't know this. And Gumby's my symbol for my brother.
Oh.
And so they came. I don't know what else to say about talking to spirit, but that it gives me a comfort. It also shows me I'm not alone.
Right.
Trust and faith is a huge thing about how they, okay, all right. They're real. Oh, like, come
sorry.
on, Sue.
That's all right. We can move on if you like.
No. What they're saying is that, or what I'm hearing is, when we see the bigger picture and not just focus just on us, ourselves, and we go back and we connect to spirit, it allows us then to be in our hearts more, and it allows us to be in faith, and it allows us to be in connection with people. Right. So when we're in connection with spirit, it then allows us to be really connected in our hearts, right, and then connected to other people and to the world.
And that's what I try to tell people, that when, you don't need us to contact your loved ones.
Yeah.
If you say it with all your heart, they're going to hear it.
Yes.
And you can connect. It's just you're trying too hard.
Yes, yeah.
So I that's why I tell them, there's messages all around, you're just trying too hard. If you calm yourself and go within your heart, you can't lose.
Right. And that's where the connecting the dots piece is, oh yeah, let's stop. Oh yeah, this is 1, 2, 3 dots. Where did that lead me? Oh.
Right.
It led me to, it's spirit leading you to your heart.
Right. So you do classes and things like that?
I do workshops, I do retreats, I do...
Oh, wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I do. We're retreats where you come and we work on the land. Right. We'll do fire ceremonies, or we'll do walks out in the land. Usually I have everybody lay on the ground, belly to the earth. Because if you can hear, how many times do you stop to hear your own heartbeat?
Right.
And usually I have a drum, and I ask people to listen to the drum beat. And the drum beat's the same as your heartbeat. And then if you can hear your heartbeat, then listen to the earth beat. And listen to the beat of the earth. And we are connected to her.
Right.
It's about stopping. I mean, we're always 500 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And how about stopping and listening? And then paying attention to all the signs that we're getting.
True. We just have to stop.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And take the time
Slow
for
down
ourselves.
a little bit. Yeah.
And feel who we're connected with, and I always say, just ask, okay, what am I supposed to do next? And what am I supposed to learn from someone? And then all of a sudden, I always tell people, everybody's on Facebook.
Right.
So if something pops up into your news feed that you're not even friends with that person, hello?
There's something there for you to know.
That's right. And that's how easily, just like with you, I was guided.
I know, thank you.
And I reached out, and at a time where it was like, oh, I need to reach out to Sue Angelo. People need to know about her.
Thank you.
And how they can get in touch with her.
I appreciate that.
Because I think part of my spiritual path is being a catalyst for all of those.
Bringing people,
yeah,
the connections.
The connections and the right connections.
Yeah. and so that people can find who they need.
Right.
Not everybody fits with everybody else. That's why I always tell people, call me, talk to me. Let's see if we fit, and see if this works. And, because you'll know who works with you and who doesn't. And sometimes, I'm pretty grounded, I'm pretty earth-based. I'm not always, I'll be more direct with you than you might want me to.
But that's how it should be.
And that's, yeah.
Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah. And it takes a little bit of gumption, or it takes a little bit of grit to do this. And it's not like, oh, you're going to float into it and it's all going to be easy, but it is, it's work to be in relationship.
Right.
So it's work to be in relationship with spirit. It's work to be in relationship with your family. It's work to be in relationship with each other. But it's worth it.
Right. You know what? I always think, everybody wants a reading before they want a healing.
Right.
And I always say, why not do the healing first? And then your energy, your vibration changes, and then you'll be open to
the reading.
To the not only the reading, but you'll be open to
the message.
The message, or how you can open up to things.
Right.
So it's, and I always tell people, that I think that's why I always offer a package deal where they can do a reading and a Reiki.
Oh, okay.
And so they get the reading first, because I tell them I'm going to, we'll get everything out.
Right.
And then we're going to do the Reiki, because we're going to release it all, but it's going to open you completely. And it's like more people are starting to be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's they have to go with it, but the things that you do is amazing, because it helps people.
I have people come in and they talk to me, and we usually, I talk to them before they come in, and I talk, and then we talk at the session, and then see, So what I work with also too is people's ancestors. So it's their past. Like I'll say, is there someone that's passed that you're really close to? And I'll have them bring a picture. So I build altars for everybody that comes in.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
And then I build special altars. And so they bring in pictures of the people that have passed. And then we bring those folks in the room. And they work with the healing with me. It's a co-production. It's not...
but that is amazing.
And the ancestors, the people that passed can help us.
More so sometimes in the physical. That's what I tell them all the time.
Exactly. and so it's easier, one of my clients, they kept saying, who has my back? And then they showed me a picture. And then his animal totem was an eagle, and he said, who has my back? And then they showed me, a tattoo of an eagle. And I said, well, what does the eagle mean to you? He goes, it's my father. I said, well, who has your back? Is your dad.
Right. Oh,
so
how simple is that?
And because it's simple, we don't think it means anything.
True.
You know what I mean? We kind of dismiss it, and it's like, well, it has to be harder than that. But it's not.
No, not at all. Not at all. But that's beautiful that you do all of that, because it's so important.
Yeah.
And not many people do that. See?
Yeah.
You're special.
Thank you. Well, because it's a calling about having the people's family that have passed, even if it wasn't good, so if your parent did this, and so now you're this way.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you may be pissed that your parent did this, okay?
Right.
But their action made you go the opposite way. And so who you are now is in direct relationship to what they did. Even if you didn't like what they did, even if it pissed you off, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But it brought you to a different place.
Exactly.
And if you can see that as a gift, then they gave you a gift, and then realize what you have as a gift.
That's so true.
And then it's all coming back to the heart.
Exactly.
Hold them in your heart, and you'll receive more from your life than you'll even
And I always tell them, and forgive them.
Yeah, well.
You don't have to forget, but if you forgive, you get that peace back, and your heart is more complete.
I do ritual around, I do a forgiveness ritual, and
it's so important.
And that's, somebody today was going and doing a forgiveness ritual, and it's what I've been working on too. I mean, everything I work with folks, I've done myself, so it's something that I've worked with myself.
And that's what I love for people to know, and I do the same thing. I can say, I know this, so I can tell you this, and that's what they like to hear.
Yes.
It's not that you're going to tell them the story. It's like, no, I know, and I can honestly say I've been through it, so I know.
So I've had a journey over the last 3 years, and it's a journey about my mom and I, and about my forgiveness in my heart around her. And so that the next book will be into the daughter's heart.
I love that.
And it's about she's from Ireland, and it's about doing all the journey that I did for the 3 years of finding out and forgiving her. And it wasn't just, overnight,
Of course not.
It was, oh yeah, let's look at this, let's look at that, let's look at this, and how do we work with that? And that's how I work with people. It's never just like, oh, come in for a healing and this is all that's going to happen. Is what do you want to work on? What do you want to break down? And what's the root of something that came that way? And let's investigate.
I love that. So, believe it or not, we're running out of time.
Okay.
But say again how everyone can get in touch with you.
They can get in touch with me. They can email me at sue@sueangelo.com. Or they can also go to my website, www.sueangelo.com, and right from the website, they can email me from the website.
Okay.
And
do
I
you
am
have a
also on the Facebook. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm on Facebook. It's
Is it Sue Angelo?
it's Susan Angelo, Shamanic Spirit Song in Boston.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you so much to talk
thank
to
you. And if anyone would like any more information on Sue, you can email me at paranormalencounterstv9@gmail.com. If you want to be a guest or tell your story, you can email me also. And again, thanks for watching.
Thank you.